Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well. Today it's video number 2 and this is exactly why I decided to split the videos. From now on we're going to do that when there's enough news. On days where it's just quiet we'll keep to the one, but on days where we're going to have to split, like today there's more that's come out. I would have been here for 35 minutes if I wanted to pile it all into one. So make sure you check out video number 1 from earlier on. I will leave the link for you guys right here in the top right hand corner. Have a butcher's and make sure you are keeping up to date with all the content as it drops on here. Tomorrow we'll do the same. Friday it's the preview for Manchester City versus Chelsea. So make sure you guys are here. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded, and we will get ourselves cracking right into it. So much appreciated. Let's start off with what we have heard from earlier on up until now. This evening, this one surprised me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Apparently tensions are a little high now. Between who, you might ask? Well, I didn't think I'd say this, but the Chelsea board and Pochettino. From Fraser Fletcher saying, tensions rising with Chelsea and Pochettino due to differing recruitment ideas. Armando Broja and Conor Gallagher both key examples of this. This is, it's actually mad. When you go into the article and you read what the article actually had to say. Let me try and actually bring it up on here. Here it is. Check this out. So, if I can bring this across, I can't. Anyway, the article basically states that there are issues between the board and Pochettino, specifically about the recruitment in January. So it says Mauricio Pochettino is disappointed with the Chelsea board for their treatment of Conor Gallagher, as well as not signing him a replacement for Armando Broja in January. It says Pochettino has always been an avid supporter of Gallagher. We know this. It's why he's given him the captain's armband on occasion this term and has played him in every game he's been available throughout the season, usually for the full 90 minutes. And it says that did not stop the board attempting to get rid in January. Indeed, Team Talk, through Fraser Fletcher, reported then that the manager was at odds with Chelsea's board as he and Gallagher both wanted to ensure he stayed, but the club were open to letting him go. And the same can be said, obviously, for how Armando Broja went out on loan. The manager did want a replacement, and no one came. So now apparently there seems to be a little bit of tension. Well, you know what? For me, in my opinion, if that's the case, it's very welcome. It's very welcome. Finally, Pochettino is not as much as a yes man than we were thinking, right? I mean, is that the case? Because, well, look, I'm going to be completely honest. It's either that or the Chelsea owners already know that they're sacking him at the end of the season. So now they couldn't care less. You know, even if these reports start coming out now, they couldn't care. If Pochettino wants to kick up us, don't care. Because if they are certain that he's out of the job this summer, when they're going to evaluate his position, as we've been hearing from time to time, then it doesn't really make much difference. Because we know, because of the financial situation, because of pure profit, we know Chelsea want to sell Conor Gallagher, which is why I said, if Chelsea are serious about signing Conor Gallagher to a new deal, believe me, they would give him something that he would sign in 5 minutes. But that's not going to happen because they don't want that. They want to sell him and they want it this summer. So they're not going to get a contract offer agreed with him by this summer. Because by this summer, they want to try and sell him. So this is where you're already at odds. And if Pochettino's making it clear to them that I'm not happy. And to be fair, I got to be honest. The whole Gallagher thing, it's debatable. And like we said, there's the finances and all of that. For Armando Broja, I can really sympathize with Pochettino on this one. Because which striker do we have? Now, it's obviously going to get to the summer and we know that there's going to be, you know, trying to get Victor Osimhen and all of that. But, like I said in video number 1 earlier on, if Chelsea are in the financial mess that is being portrayed by some outlets, we ain't getting Victor Osimhen. You best believe. So which is it? Which is it? Because if it is that case, well, absolutely, I would have loved for us to probably get someone in this January because we don't have any striker except for Nicholas Jackson. And even right now, we're playing him as a left winger because he looks better there. So who's playing up top? Nkunku? You know? Cole Palmer? It's actually quite ludicrous. As a manager, if I was in Poch's situation, I'd be fuming. I'd be fuming, especially being 11th in the table. If it were me, I'd be like, yo, how do you want me to score goals? What are you guys doing? I would. You can have the debate as to whether Pochettino tactically helps the team or he doesn't. There is that whole debate, and I do believe Pochettino lacks. But I'm just saying, as a manager, if I was a manager and that was a situation, I'd be fuming. Now, some people would say, yeah, but Armando Broja wasn't doing much. It's not about that. It's actually a good thing that he's gone off to Fulham. But get me someone in. That's the problem here. There's no other striker except Nicholas Jackson. So I sympathise. On that front, I do sympathise. So, look, if it's now starting to get a little edgy between Pochettino and the board, I'm not entirely shocked. Now, that's that. Let me know your thoughts down below. We talk about Chelsea men a lot. We very, very, very rarely talk about Chelsea women. And we only mention Chelsea women if they've done something big or if something around Emma Hayes has been going on. Like I've mentioned Emma Hayes on here for quite some time. We were talking about Sam Kerr and the potential new deal or not signing, which apparently I think she signed. She signed a new deal. I think she signed a new deal. But we rarely mention. Well, today, they're setting the example. They're setting the example, and it's crazy because it feels like that the Chelsea women are being run by a completely different bunch of owners. How? Well, I'll show you. Let's get into it. Here's the latest for Chelsea women. Chelsea women have offered a contract to Lyon head coach Sonia Bompastor to replace US women's national team bound Emma Hayes at the end of the season. So, this is Sonia Bompastor. I've said her name wrong. But Chelsea make contract offer to Lyon head coach Sonia Bompastor to replace Emma Hayes, who leaves for the US national team at the end of the season. Nothing finalised yet, and negotiations are ongoing. Bompastor's contract with Lyon expires in 2025. If we're going to, some people probably going to ask, some of you are probably going to say, who is Sonia Bompastor? So yes, she's from Lyon, but what does that mean? Let me tell you what that means. This is the equivalent, the women's equivalent to if Chelsea now decided to go and get Pep Guardiola. Imagine having to replace Jose Mourinho, who'd been at the club for 10 years, right? And then you go after Pep Guardiola. That is basically what's happened with the women's team. Emma Hayes has been with this team for a decade or 12 years? No, 9 or 10 years. I think this is the 10th, right? And she's won everything that there is to be won, except the Champions League. Didn't quite do that. We reached the final and we lost the final to Barcelona because Barcelona were operating on another level. But this manager with Lyon did win the Champions League. She's come into the Lyon job in 2021. She's already won everything. The French League, the Cup, there's another cup. I'm not sure if it's like the French Super Cup or whatnot. And she's won the Champions League already with Lyon. She's top tier. She's top tier. So I have to ask the question. This is fantastic. This is brilliant news. I'm very happy to hear this. Very, very happy to hear this. There isn't a better manager suited for the Chelsea job aside from Emma Hayes than this woman. She is rightfully the next one that should be coming in. Perfect. Why don't we treat the men this way? I'm going to go in a different direction to the way that the world is going in at the moment. I'm going to start screaming for men's rights. You know, how come the men's team is being put through mediocrity and being put through the gutter? The women's team are getting the targets that they should be going for. Fantastic. Look, they're making sure they're keeping their best players. They're making sure that Emma Hayes, who's decided to leave, no problem, will go and get another winner. But what are we doing here? This is why I said, are the women's team being run by a different bunch of owners compared to the men's team, or are we meant to be the same club? You know, this is crazy. Now, some people are going to say, no, but Chelsea, the men's team were not operating at a winning level, so therefore we can't. No, I don't accept that whatsoever. That argument for me is void. Why is it void? Because in a league where Pep Guardiola is competing against us, Jurgen Klopp is in a league competing against us, we were sitting third in the Premier League table and we had won the Champions League when these owners walked through the door. Don't try and tell me Chelsea were not at a decent level. We were getting top four regularly. It was at least we were getting that. We even finished third. We'd won the Champions League. We were champions of Europe. These guys walked through the door, and now we found ourselves finishing 12th, and now we're 10th, looking to maybe finish around mid-table again for the second season running. Don't try and say we weren't at the top level, we were at a decent level. We had everything to build on top of that. And we've just thrown it all out the window. With the women's team, we've actually run it perfectly. Why? Why the difference? Some would argue, and I think this is the main indicator and the main reason why. Let me answer my own question. Because money. There isn't much money in the women's game, so there's not much incentive to make money in the women's game. So you know what? With the women's game, it's all about winning. We're just going to make sure the women keep winning, because that's the only way that side of the sport is going to grow, at least within our football club. If the women's team are killing it, that's the best opportunity they have on a financial level to generate more money. With the men, not really the case. Not really the case, which is why we've gone down the project route. So I've answered my own question, and I've answered what all of you had on your minds. So there we are. That's the latest. Congrats to the women's team. And look, it's not done yet, but I hope she walks through the door, and I hope she becomes the women's manager. That's a fantastic acquisition. Beautiful. Could not get better. So let's hope it happens. Let me know your thoughts down below. And to wrap up, very interesting piece of news, and I think a lot of you are going to have your eyebrows raised. At the same time, actually, no. Before that, we're going to talk about a player that's been linked with Chelsea, whilst at the same time, there's another player that looks like might become available. So let's get into this. Here's the latest from the Daily Mail. Chelsea have inquired about 21-year-old Everton defender Jarrad Braithwaite. Now, before we get to the final one of the video and who I'm going to talk about next, I don't know what to think on this one. Because I don't want us just going after young players. But he's actually a decent central defender. He actually is. And playing for Everton under Sean Dyche is a type of centre-back profile that I wouldn't actually mind having. And he's actually been quite decent. Obviously, he plays for Everton. He's not going to be looked at as the best. For his age, I think he's actually quite good. He's got a very good size. I like the way he plays. He's that old school, no nonsense sort of central defender. I'm going to go and break a leg sort of central defender. And I do love those defenders, if I'm being completely honest. So there's that. But it doesn't take away from the fact I would love to bring someone in who's already been through it and worn the t-shirt, if you know what I mean, man, because we need that level of experience in the team. So that's not going to come from Braithwaite, with all due respect, but I wouldn't mind having him in the Chelsea squad. I really wouldn't. He's a good defender. So that's my thoughts on that. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know down below. Much appreciated. There is also news that Trent Alexander-Arnold as well as Szoboszlai are both missing the Carabao Cup final because they are both injured. So that's that. Not really much to look into though, because the levels between the two squads, as far as I'm concerned, are still quite distanced. So we'll see what happens on the day. But I'll get into that close to the time. To wrap up this piece of news, check this out. Pedro Neto is set to leave Wolves this summer to help the club meet FFP rules, and he's being chased by top 4 Premier League clubs. Do they mean top 4 as in top 4 or top 4? Because if it's top 4, we're not in it. So there's that. We can't really mention about being not even top half of the bloody table. But you get the gist. But Pedro Neto, because of FFP, might have to leave Wolves. Now, you know what? When you actually look at this in terms of the player himself, Pedro Neto, right? He's a flipping good player, right? He's class. But there's one sticking point, and this is where I think he would fit very well at Chelsea, but this is also the reason why I'm quite sceptical and I'm not so sure if we should go after him. He's got a bit of an injury record. And he's 23, don't get me wrong, but he's got an injury record. I don't know if this is going to show on the screen. No, it's not going to. But anyway, Pedro Neto has sported a hamstring injury this season. Earlier on in the season, was out for 9 games. Before that, had an ankle injury last season where he missed 27 games. Had a knee injury in the season before that where he missed 52 games. I mean, it's just not looking good, bruv. Do you know what I mean? It's just not looking good. And he's not gone through a season where he hasn't at least missed a handful of games. So, I can't be having that. Great player. And I'd have him tomorrow. You saw what he was like against us, right? He tore us a new one. But I'm scared he'll show up to Chelsea and he won't play ever again. That's just the way we're running at the moment. So let me know your thoughts on Pedro Neto possibly leaving. And look, unless if we fix up our medical department, because I got to be honest, or whatever's going on at Cobham, something's going on at Cobham that's hurting the players. Whether it's training or whether it's the medical staff. One of them, something is damaging the players. Unless we sort that, you can forget getting players like this. No chance. Because they definitely won't face any sort of decent rehab or recovery at Chelsea Football Club. Not players like Neto. So let me know your thoughts on that one. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you tomorrow for a brand new one. Thank you all so much for watching. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to check out the socials and make sure you keep up to date with all that drops on here. Much appreciated, including the preview, like I said, to Man City versus Chelsea coming on Friday. And I will see all of you tomorrow for a new one. Have a good one, people. See you lot then. Take care and peace.